Hi there and welcome to a new video. In this one I want to show you some quick tips for you to be able to develop faster and easier in Godot mobile. Because yes, indeed I know how difficult it is sometimes to actually be able to like move around the environment and code and add your nodes, etc. So first of all, let's start with the pretty basics. If you want to move in the 3D environment, you can first of all like zoom in a little bit using both fingers and also zoom out, okay? And this will also like move also a little bit, for example, if you are using two fingers. But the most appropriate way of moving in the 3D environment is basically with the joysticks. So with the right joystick, you control the rotation of the camera, and with the left joystick, you control the actual position. Okay, so this would be the best way to move in 3D. And in 3D it is quite different because you have this bar to move from left to right and this bar to move from top to bottom, I'm sorry. And once again you can use your fingers to zoom in, but here you also have these two buttons, okay, which will allow you to also zoom in, but I believe that the fingers are just a little bit easier to use. Now another thing that I want to show you, I will super quickly add a node. So what happens, as you can see, for example, here I have to type in something and my keyboard is taking like a huge space. So all keyboards in all devices should have some kind of arrow, okay, that will allow you to hide the keyboard. If that isn't the case, then you can just press like outside of the keyboard, for example, no, over here, and it should close, okay? So now, as you can see, I'm able to browse through the different nodes. So for example, I can go ahead and look for a sprite 2D and I can just close it, and I can select here if I wanted the animated or the actual sprite 2D, and I can directly create it. Now also taking advantage of these sprites, I want to show you the following. You actually have here three tools that you can use. This one is the move tool, this one is the rotate tool, and this one is the scale tool. So I can select the sprite, okay, and with the move tool, well, I am exactly able to do that. I can move it from top to bottom, okay, if you're able to exactly click on the arrow, maybe something like this. And as you can see, I wasn't able to do it. Let's try again. There we go. As you can see, I'm only able to move it from top to bottom, and the same thing with this red arrow, if you're able to get it correctly. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, well, I believe that you do get the idea. They are super small right now, but well, whenever you want to use the move tool, you can do it. Then with the rotate tool, it is quite similar. You can just go ahead and rotate it. This is just for you to avoid having to go to the transform and manually set these values that can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. And then with the scale tool is the same thing, okay? Here, unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to make it keep the aspect, because in a PC you have to press a key, but here we don't have that key. But well, this is also a tool that can sometimes help a little bit. Also, if you feel that your keyboard is taking like too much space, you can actually make it small. So with this button, at least in the keyboard that my phone has, which is the Google keyboard, you can go over here and you can click the resize button. So then, for example, I can directly shrink it a little bit, okay, and now it is much smaller, or you can even move it up or down as you wish. And you can also just reset the settings if you want to reset them. So now, as you can see, for example, the keyboard is much smaller. Of course, it is quite complicated to type here, but anyway, you're able to like see much more. Or even in the exact settings of your keyboard, here I have the settings. Here you actually see like some options in Spanish, but well, or well, actually here this is in English, so perfect. But here you're able to modify like lots of things, such as if you want to modify the color of it, the text correction, you can disable it. For example, here, if, for example, in Godot, when you are typing var, instead of writing it with the var of variable, it writes with the v of bar, okay, or of going to a bar, for example. So well, you can, for example, modify this. And then also, I can click on, on this option that is basically called floating, this one. So right now, as you can see, the keyboard is even smaller, and I believe that you can basically drag and drop this thing where you want it. If I grab it from the bottom, I can put it over here. So this is even smaller, so it is even like more complicated to type in. If I wanted to look for, I don't know, let's look for an audio stream player. But well, this is another option that you can actually use, okay? And if you click from the bottom, as you can see, you can also get to resize this, okay? This is the smaller that my device allows me to do it, or you can even reset it, okay? And if you want to come back to the normal keyboard, you click over here on the settings button, or maybe reset, okay? I don't know why this is not there. We go and we go to resize, okay, right there it wasn't. Here in floating we disable it, and there we have it. I know it's a lot of information, even for me it's difficult to remember like all the settings, but well, so now I'm going to create a script and I want to put into practice some of this stuff. So right now I can't see the name of the sprite or the name of the script, sorry. So I could use the arrow, and there I see the path and everything, and I could be able to type it better if it wasn't written correctly, and I will just create it. And what I want to show you is basically the following. So let's say here that we're going to be having some variable. So basically, let's say that we have this code, okay, or any code that you may have. And if I wanted to add more code over here, okay, so I am not actually able like to read what I'm currently typing. So indeed it is quite not the best option for us. So a pretty good feature that we can use is the scroll past end of file. So editor settings, and then we come back to here behavior and the text editor that you really have to scroll down several options. So here behavior, scroll past end of file. So now you can actually, for example, scroll down until here and do whatever you wanted to do. So if I wanted to type on func underscore process or whatever you actually wanted to do, you can directly do it right there. Lastly, if you feel that the UI is a little too scaled in or whatever, you can go to editor settings, and you can modify the zoom, okay, that you have over here. So the display scale, it has been automatically set in my case to 173. You can use any of these options or also the custom option. So this will allow you to then use here a custom display scale, as you can see. But well, in my case, I will, for example, try out a new option of 175. I will click save and restart so that we can see the difference. So well, as you can see, now stuff is much bigger than it used to be. And well, if we check like the new option that we have, basically here, this one. Well, actually it's not that big because the previous one was 173. So if we made this something like 200, we would actually realize the difference that I wanted to show. There we have it. Okay, now it is indeed much bigger. Even as you can see, there is a like small error. Probably if I close and restart Godot again, it shouldn't happen again, but I can see like the horizontal bar. And in 3D also, as you can see, the joystick like should have more space over here. But well, I believe that you do get the idea of this. And lastly, for those who want to actually learn Godot Mobile, I've just launched a new course that you can see just for 3 days, okay? It is going to be at this discount. That is, as you can see, pretty huge. Also, as you can see, it is quite short because I just wanted to teach the basics of Godot Mobile, and we're going to be doing this through the creation of a 2D point-and-click game and a 2D shooter. I will also quickly go over like the two projects so that you can check them out. So this is the first project, a 2D point-and-click game. The player can move around and can also like dodge those kinds of enemies, and at the same time can collect some coins. And lastly, in the 2D shooter game, it is exactly that. The player can move around with that joystick, okay, and it automatically shoots towards the direction that it's facing. And basically it has those rocks that will move towards the player, and if a rock collides with the player, the game is basically restart. So enroll right now. The link of the course is in the description down below.